Hello. The following presentation will focus on the methods used to measure vegetation height, litter, and water depth along the transect. Vegetation height, litter, and water depth is a core method within the Lente-Game protocol and is usually measured at the same time as LPI. You can follow along in section 6.3 of the draft field protocol for lentic riparian and wetland systems on page 102. It is important to gather the materials needed to successfully measure vegetation height, litter, and water depth. Notable items include the line point intercept datasheet or an electronic device such as an iPad with appropriate Survey 123 forms for paperless data collection, an avalanche probe, and the AIM monitoring multi-tool. The first step is to measure plant heights at regular intervals of 2.5 meters for a minimum of 30 measurements per plot, or 10 per transect. You can see here that LPI pin drops are collected every half meter and height measurements are collected every 2.5 meters. At each designated transect mark, place the measuring rod or avalanche pole 15 centimeters from the edge of the transect tape, opposite from where you are standing. The AIM monitoring multi-tool comes in handy here for measuring the correct distance from the tape to the placement of the measuring rod. Fit the notch in the multi-tool around the measuring rod and create a 15 centimeter radius circle by spinning the multi-tool around the rod. Moving the ruler up and down as a guide, determine the tallest living or dead herbaceous and tallest living or dead woody plant parts intersecting a projected 15 centimeter radius cylinder tangent to the line. It is important that you do not stretch or move any plant parts while determining the vegetation heights. Consider all plant parts existing inside the projected cylinder, whether they are rooted inside or outside the 15 centimeter radius. Measure one individual for herbaceous plants and one individual for woody plants if present. Record if the species is alive or dead. If only dead plant material from a given species touches the pin, circle the species code on the form. Record height from the ground surface, even if the soil surface is uneven, mounded, or bumpy, or if the soil surface is underwater. If vegetation is taller than 4 meters, a clinometer or rangefinder can be used to estimate height. Where no herbaceous or woody vegetation is present, mark NA in the species column and 0 in the height column of the datasheet. Do not leave cells blank. Next, measure litter or thatch depth within the same 15 centimeter radius used for vegetation height. Measure the height of the tallest piece of litter or thatch to the ground surface. Where no litter or thatch is present, mark 0 in the litter column of the datasheet. Next, measure water depth at the center of the 15 centimeter radius used for vegetation height. Measure water depth from the top of the water to the ground surface. Where no water is present, mark 0 in the water column of the datasheet. Let's go over a few examples. At point 5, Salix exigua is the tallest woody species and Poa pratensis is the tallest herbaceous species within the 15 centimeter radius. Both species are at the same height at 31 centimeters. Litter is recorded as 2 and water is recorded as 0. At point 7.5, the measuring rod rests at the top of embedded woody litter. Salix exigua is the tallest woody species within the 15 centimeter radius at 33 centimeters, and Poa pratensis is the tallest herbaceous species at 23 centimeters. Both litter and water are recorded as 0. If you are using a tablet to collect data electronically, you can see an example of the Survey 123 form for vegetation heights here. This concludes the methods for collecting vegetation height, litter, and water depth. There are several measures you can take to ensure quality data collection. These steps are also listed on page 105 of the protocol. It is recommended to reference these steps during and after a sample event.